Serbia has become the latest country to introduce a ban on fur farming. Ireland should be the next country. This is according to the Irish Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. Chief Executive Officer of the ISPCA, Dr. Andrew Kelly, joins us now. And a very good morning to you, and thank you indeed for joining us. There's
Morning,
three
Michael.
Fur farms in this country, is there?
Yes, there's currently 3 fur farms, and I should start by saying that, fur is a luxury fashion item that is completely unnecessary, of course, and if people really want to wear something that looks like fur, there are suitable synthetic alternatives out there. So there's really no need for fur farming. But yeah, there's 3 fur farms left in Ireland, and the ISPCA is calling for an immediate ban on animal welfare and ethical grounds, because the intensive farms that keep mink keep them in very small cages, and they really cannot provide for the welfare of the animals. And you mentioned at the top of your piece there that Serbia became the latest country to ban fur farming from the 1st of January. And in 2018, Luxembourg became the 14th EU member state. So Ireland is lagging behind in this area, and it's time that a ban was introduced. And also, we, with our colleagues at another organisation called Respect for Animals, conducted a Red Sea poll, and 80% of the Irish public would like to see a ban introduced without any further delay.
Okay, but I suppose there are people, whether you understand it or I understand it, which I don't, who want a mink coat. But if you ban the farming of mink to produce mink as a material, do you also ban the importation of the final product?
Well, essentially, that might happen further down the line. But Ireland at the moment, it's all the fur produced in Ireland is actually exported, and 2 of the fur farms are actually owned by international companies. They're not actually owned by anybody in Ireland. And just before Christmas, Veterinary Ireland, which is the professional body which represents veterinary surgeons in Ireland, they published their position statement on fur farming, and they concluded that fur farming cannot protect the welfare of animals under any circumstances, and they also called for an immediate ban. So we've got the veterinary profession calling for a ban. The Irish public want to see a ban, and there's plenty of scientific evidence to show that fur farming's cool.
But you can buy mink coats in Dublin, can't you?
You can indeed, yes.
Yeah.
I think there's
so not all of the Irish public want a ban on them. Somebody's buying them.
Well, no, but it's a very small minority, of course, that do want to wear fur and that can afford to wear fur. It is a luxury fashion item that really needs to be consigned to the history books. But the other thing, of course, is that the methods for killing them on farm is actually very inhumane as well. They're gassed. They're essentially taken from their cages. And one of the reasons why they're kept in very small cages is that they're essentially arm's length, so that there's no difficulty in catching them. And at this time of year, or just after their first moult at the end of November, essentially that's when the killing time is, and up to 150,000 mink are taken out of those cages, put in boxes and gassed with carbon monoxide. So
and is that the difference in your mind, Andrew, between wearing a woolly jumper or a pair of leather shoes?
Well, it is a different thing. There is less cruelty involved in some other industries, leather industry and wool, but that's another issue completely. But what we are calling for is an immediate ban on fur farming. And, there has been a global change. We're starting to see many of the top fashion houses also rejecting fur. Recently, Versace, Gucci, Armani, Hugo Boss and others, I think there's 969 retailers have actually signed a pledge on the Fur Free Alliance page, of which we're a member, pledging not to sell fur in their collections in the future. And I think the evidence is quite clear that mink kept in cages suffer serious injuries. They suffer from stereotypic behaviour, which is caused by stress. And there's big differences between farming domesticated animals and wild animals. And mink are essentially a wild animal. And there are huge differences between wild mink and what farmed mink can do. So we're all conscious of the 5 freedom concept, which allows for animals to show normal behaviour. Of course, wild animals kept in a very small cage, measuring 90 centimetres by 30 centimetres by 40 centimetres, cannot express normal behaviour. These are semi-aquatic mammals.
Well, that's a view. But there's nothing wrong legally with what's being done. I mean, these it is a regulated industry, isn't it?
Well, it is a regulated industry and they operate under licence. But we believe that the welfare of the animals cannot, and the scientific evidence supports this, and the veterinary profession supports this, that the welfare of the animals can't be protected in these farms.
So what does the government think of this?
Well, the government did a review in 2011 and they allowed fur farming to continue under licence. We believe a lot has changed in that 7 or 8 years. Since then, we believe there should be another review and we're calling on the government to look at the scientific evidence, listen to the veterinary profession and listen to the public. It's high time that the fur farming industry was banned in Ireland and it was consigned to the history books.
All right, we'll leave it there and thank you indeed for joining us this morning. Dr. Andrew Kelly, who's the Chief Executive Officer of the ISPCA, brings our programme to its conclusion today, indeed for this week. Before we go, as always, thanks to Marie Kearns for producing, Maggie Maguire for researching and Chris Murray in the control tower. I'm Michael, hope you have a lovely weekend and God willing we'll see you for our next programme on Monday morning at 9 a.m. right here on LMFM. Good morning, bye-bye.
The Michael Reid Show podcast. Tune in weekdays from 9 on LMFM. To contact us, email now, michael@lmfm.ie.